Hi folks, my name's Chuck Newt, and I'm with the Winking Pig Barbecue, and you're watching a new episode of the How to Build a Barrel Grill series of videos. And if you saw the last video, you saw where I was up to burning it out and after I had cut the hatch into the barrel there. And now then I've done a little cutting already. I've cut my legs and kind of my cross pieces for the carriage. And so I'm going to turn around here and I'm going to give you some measurements so that you can write these down if you want to do something like this. And then I'll show you where we're going from here. Okay folks, so here we go. We got two pieces here. This is 1 inch by 1 inch box tubing, and these are actually 14 gauge, plenty strong enough for this barrel grill. And I've cut those 18 inches long, and those are going to be the cross pieces for at the end of the barrel. These two are going to be for the length of the barrel, and those are 32¼ inches. And those also are 14 gauge 1 inch by 1 inch. And then these are actually the legs, and these are 34 inches long for each one of them. And I've cut 4 of those. So we've got our 4 legs, 2 cross pieces for the length of the barrel between legs, and then 2 cross pieces for the end of the barrel, again to connect the legs together to stiffen it all up. So that's where we're at right now. My next goal, I'm going to show you how I went about this. You'll see I've got a mark here, and that's going to be the angle where the legs are going to be welded to the barrel. And I'll kind of show you how I went about going, or show you how I went about marking those. So let's get turned around over here at the barrel and show you where we're at. Okay, so the first thing I had to do, I had to refine my center line after I burnt the barrel, and I lost my mark because the paint all burnt off. So I've got my center line again here, and what I've calculated this is that my legs, the outside to outside of my legs, are going to be 20 inches apart. And so once I found my center line, I had to find out where 20 inches was going to cross on the lid of the barrel here. And it turns out it's right about 5½ inches from my center line down. And so then I just took my leg like this, put it right on the corner of the barrel there, and I just took my Sharpie and marked the edge right there. So that's how I've gone about finding how to mark on my legs. And so the next project is going to actually be to this one's not marked. My next project is actually going to be to cut the angles on these legs up here so that they can fit to the barrel using my chop saw over here. And then once we do that, then I can actually begin putting together the stand. So follow along. Okay, apologize again for the wind, but it is what it is. So I've taken my square and I've measured up 6 inches on the bottom here. I got my square, I got my piece of steel all squared up. We're ready to give it a shot here with the welder. Tack it in. Go. A good tack. Okay. Get my other leg set here now. Get it tacked in. Get my 6-inch mark. That. And I can move this a little bit. As long as we're not getting crazy with it. It is just tacked in. Okay, that ought to be it right there. And we can go ahead and get my gloves on. Give us another tack over here. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now then we will come over here and tack on the other corner on the top. Well, it's going to be the top. Like that. And over here. Okay, that should pretty well have us a good start. Now, I'm going to make this the one end. Well, obviously it's one end. But what do I mean by that? I mean that I'm not going to go ahead and weld the inside of it yet, at least not the what's now the bottom under here, because I'm going to have to weld these other long connectors in too, and I'll probably do it all one shot. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and get this. Double check my square before I go any further. Pull it in just a hair. Kind of to be expected. Start putting heat to stuff. See what this one looks like. Yep, pulled in just a hair on that one as well. So we're going to kind of try to bang them out just a little bit. Tell you what I'm going to do. Lay it right like that, there. And I'm going to hit the bottoms on this real quick. That'll pretty well lock us in. bolt. Okay, there we go. So there's one for now. I'm going to go ahead and you might notice a little difference in the steel there, where I cleaned this one. I cleaned this one up. This one has yet to be cleaned up. I need to do the same thing, and we'll get the. I'm gonna go ahead and do what I've done to this one done, and we'll come back when we're ready to move on. Okay, folks. So you should be able to see I got this cleaned off. When I say that, I'm talking about the rust and whatnot. I used my square to get it right there like that, and then also square this direction as well. And I'm ready to give it a little shot here with the torch, I should say the welder. If we can't get things, see if we can't get things locked in here. Caught myself that time. These wire feed welders definitely do not work without a ground on them. Good tack. Good tack. Now, and on that one, I actually went across both bars there. So now I'm going to hit one more place right here on the side. Okay, so that pretty well should have it locked in there, or it's not going anywhere. Alright, so I'm going to get my other set of legs set up here and see if we can't get ready to weld that into place. Alright folks, so I've got myself squared up here, both this direction and this direction. Well, thought I did. There we go. It's looking good. So now it's time to get this thing tacked in over here. Gloves would be a good thing. since I don't like getting burnt. For your information on this, I am using 0.035 flux core wire on this, at least for this part of it. Okay. And like I did on the other side down here, I did cross that gap here between this side piece and this side piece. So now it's time to get the whole thing turned around and see if we can't do the whole thing over again. It'll be a little bit easier this time because I don't have to worry about these two sides trying to fall on me while I'm doing it. Okay folks, so I've got my 6 inches on both of these ends, held in place by my magnets. Time to get some gloves on and get this thing tacked in. Alright, now then folks, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go around and start. I'm going to go finish welding these in, because right now all I've got is tacks around it. And then once I do that, I'll come back and we'll see where we're going. Okay folks, well I've got all that stand welded. I got just a little more that I'm going to do with it yet, but it's all under there. It is not welded to the barrel yet. This is just kind of like a little preview of where we're going with it. There you go. I think it's going to come back, or I should say that it's going to come together pretty quick. I think it's looking pretty good. I am going to cut out on the other end the hole down there at the end. That's where I am going to put a stack on this, even though it is a grill, because it is big enough that you can definitely do some indirect heat on this and do some smoking inside this chamber here. I mean, you can have fire down at one end and meat down at the other end if you're not doing too much. So it is capable of doing a smoke in there. There's certainly more room in there than there is in a Weber kettle grill, and you can smoke in a kettle grill if you know what you're doing. Alright, so I'm going to put these last finishing touches on here for the day. I got a couple little things I'm going to maybe surprise you with. So stay tuned. Alright folks, well I've taken and welded on a couple bolts here. Those are 5/8 inch diameter bolts, and then once I did that I cut about 3 inches off that leg. And so what we're going to do here, we're going to put a big washer on there like that. Then we are going to take, and I went to Harbor Freight and picked up some of these. They, with the coupon, they were like $3.99 a piece. So what a deal. And then I've got some of these locking nuts that have like the nylon inside. And if I can get it open, I'm going to screw that on there. So, by the way, those are 3.5 inch long bolts. And screw that down. And also, those are welded. These are 10-inch diameter tires. So those are welded 5 inches on center, and that should keep me level with my other legs. So there's one. Washer, tire, washer, and I get to open another nut. Okay. Let's see if maybe you can't see that. There you go, we're upside down now. There we go. Just a little play there, not much at all. I think we're good. So I'm gonna go take it over here and stand it up again and see if we don't look pretty good. Okay folks, so that ought to give you kind of a general idea how things are gonna look. It's gonna, I mean, I've got a ways to go with this, don't get me wrong. One thing that I wanted to do when I made this, and that is, I hope you can see the cooking height is about just not too much lower than elbow height. I wanted it just a little bit because one thing that I've noticed about some grills is that they aren't high enough. I don't want to work down here. I want to work up here, and so I made sure that when I built this, I mean, it is, I guess you could say technically it's custom made for myself, but there you go. Okay folks, well, I hope you're learning something. If you're still watching all these videos, I assume you're here because you want to learn something. So there we go. Now, and do me a favor, if you like what you're seeing, down at the bottom here, down at the bottom here, hit like and subscribe, and stay tuned. There's always more to come, and thanks for watching.